A quick thing about working in After Effects. There is a lot of presets you can use. I would be careful to overuse them when I do my actual productions, because since they are like presets, they are sort of a cliche, but you can do a lot of fancy things. If you go to the animation, to the effect menu, I just need to select the layer. Let me take this layer first. There is this thing called, where is it? Oh, here, animation layer, browse presets. This will open up Bridge, a browsing tool thing from Issues. Lots of funny stuff here. Okay, so this is Bridge. And when you choose Browse Presets, it will open up automatically in presets for After Effects. And there's a lot of different presets. For instance, let's go to Backgrounds. You can see there's some presets here, and if I select it, it should preview over here. Yes, and you can see it's like an animated background thing, and there's another animated background thing and another animated background. These presets is a combination of different filters that will be applied to the layer you have selected. So you can use this as a starting point, and then you can tweak it. So for instance, if I take this thing and then I double click it, then that will do something and complain, but it applied it to my video layer. So now I have this animation going on my video layer somewhere. There we go. The animation starts at the frame where my cursor was at the time when it was applied. And you can see that what this effect is a combination of fractal noise, tritone, turbulent displays, and glow. So if we look at this effects control panel, there's these different effects that has been applied, and it has this effect or effects icon. If we click that, we disable that particular effect, right? So it will disable. Now all of them are selected, so it disables all of them. So I'll just click somewhere. Come on, there, and then I will disable fractal noise, for instance. So you can see it now. It does it on the actual image. It applies this warp effect, and the tritone. If I disable that, it keeps the color, or if I remove the displays, it removes the displays, and if I turn off the glow, it will turn off the glow. So these are all effects that are part of that preset. So it just applies that to your layer. So I'll just get rid of all of these effects. Just delete, and then I have my original layer back in action. And I'll pop over to Bridge again. And then instead of choosing a background, I go back to presets. And then there is, for instance, behaviors. So this is something else you can apply. So you can see that is like an image sliding or image scrolling, or there's different things. Image creative, we can do funny things like these vignettes and noise or color. You can see these are not animated, these are fixed. Image special effects, so there's for instance this thing that makes it look like it's a really bad signal, so let's try that. So yeah, it still complains, but it applies this effect to the video layer now, so you get like this noisy stuff. And you can see this is based on warp and box blur and color balance and noise and Venetian blind. And so for instance, if I wanted to take this and say, okay, I want this to become green like the preset looked. See, this preset looked green. So what I could do was find the effect called, maybe this thing called tritone. tone there, and apply that as well. Just apply it there. So that ends up in the bottom here, and then instead of the brown color, I will choose a green color. Maybe make it slightly more like so. So you can see that I can then easily make this into like a noisy green night vision type of thing, whatever I want. So again, I'll just get rid of all of these, grab these, press delete, and then I'll pop back to Bridge, and I go back to presets and see there's image utilities. You can see there's a lot of, so I just try and explore here. There's also shapes, where there's different things made as shape layers. So this will create a shape layer that does these weird things, or it will apply it as a mask actually, I think, if it's not on the shape layer. Sound effects, so you can get things like this is a this should be like a foam sound, or anyway. Synthetics, so there's all these weird lightning. Let's try that. Yes. So this creates like a lightning effect. So if I wanted this on top of my video instead of my video, then I can. In this case, I could go composite on composite, or composite on original, or what I could also do was create a layer in between. So go layer, new, solid, and yep. Then just have that in between, and then apply that preset to that solid layer. Yes, there we go. So now I have the effect on a separate layer, and this layer can be moved around like I want it, and we have this effect of lightning. So that's also an option. So just get rid of this, pop back into Bridge, and presets, transform, and transitions, so different types of transitions. So there's a lot of different things. A lot of this is very simple to do yourself. So I think a lot of the time this is more like a resource for inspiration. So you go, oh, I want something like that, and then you can use it and tweak it. Transitions, movement, and wipes. Let's try wipes in the end. So there's like funky things. Okay. Then there's a separate one called text, and if I go to that, what I should do is I should select the text layer. So for instance, I go carve the year, and then I need to find the start point for the text. That should be here maybe, when it comes in, there. And then I go to Bridge, and there is different types of text. For instance, animate in, and there's a lot of different ones. There's like a spinning thing, or characters coming in one at a time, or like a matrix decoding thing, or dropping in, or fading up characters. So let's try that. I'll double click that, and it will apply this effect on this layer starting where my cursor is. So as I move forward, you can see it'll start writing the text on, well, and then it fades out, but you get the idea. And for the text effect, if I just collapse all of these and I open this, you can see what it does is it creates just leave this open so you can see. It creates these keyframes up here. You can see there's a dot here and a dot there. So I'll just open up my text layer, and you can see that the dots is in the animator and in the range selector, and then there's a key for the start value set at 0, and then it was set at 100. And what it does is it changes the opacity to 0, and it runs backwards like this. So this is what it does. It changes the opacity, but it might as well like be a scaling action or a blur or something like that. So I could add something, a property like, let's see, what should it be? Maybe a blur action here. So then have the property of this be like a really big blur, and then just have the opacity be 100%. So then you can see as they come on, this was probably a little too much. As they come on, they actually pop into focus instead. So that is also a thing you can do with this. So for now, I think you should try and browse the presets, experiment what you can do, what layers will work with what type of presets. Text obviously works with text layers, and a lot of the creative image effects work with more or less everything. And some of the shape effects work with shape objects primarily. So